Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Combo Convo. On today's episode, we're reviewing the second issue of Max Landis' Superman American Alien. Clark, what did you do to my arms? So, we are on our second issue of Max Landis' run with Superman entitled American Alien. This one is called Hawk, which again he's going with the whole birds naming, which I think is great. It's fantastic. It's a good way to keep them all connected in some way. Of course, we always got to give a shout out to the illustrator and the cover artist, because they're good. And each one of these issues has a different artist, and you can tell the difference between Dove and now Hawk. It looks different. I mean, you said it even when you were reading it. You were like, "Oh, this looks different." So shout out to Tommy Lee Edwards, and the cover artist I believe is Ryan Sook. Who's from the last issue. So let's talk about Hawk. What did you think?
Thought it was good. I liked it. I was interested in. I also like the fact that he was sticking more into Smallville.
Yeah.
He was continuing the story with him, Lana. It's interesting this one because they've really focused more on the mom this time, and
Towards
they
the
focus
end,
on the dad.
Yeah.
Because the dad I felt was more heavy in the first one compared to the mom, and this one I felt it was all really the mom, because they didn't show the father really at all. Yeah, there was mentions of him. I thought it was real good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it too. I think this really showed more of the friendship part of Clark. I mean, they threw a little bit of that in Dove, but even more so now that he's a teenager, you got to figure he's like, 14, 15, maybe around there, maybe 15, 16.
Could be 16, yeah, it's really hard to tell.
And it starts off like, boom, he's got those...
Well, 16, because his friend was driving a car.
Oh,
so
yes,
you had to have at least a permit, a license, at 16. So he had to be 16, 17, something like that.
Yeah. So, it starts off with him and Lana. So already you're getting the teenage feels. She's telling, my parents are gone. And I love that. I love that we're grounding this character as a human. Like, he is an alien, yes, but he's a teenager. He's a human teenager. And he's trying throughout the whole issue to just be a regular teenager. He's drinking beers with his friends when they shouldn't be drinking beers. He's telling his friends about him and his powers, which is something we discuss off camera, which is his friends know. His friends Pete and I forget the other guy. Yeah. They know that he has powers and that he's an alien, and they even make a joke about that where they're like, "Man, I'd be a bad alien. I'd be looking at girls, underwears the whole time." Yeah. And Clark is like, "Yeah, I don't really do that anymore, because it just looks weird." And they're like, "Oh, Mr. Goody Two-Shoes." So again, building on the Clark character, building on the fact that when I'm reading it, I'm like, okay, I can connect with this character. He doesn't feel like an alien where he's just by himself or pondering all these things by himself. It's like there's something going on here. The sheriff too. You can tell that Sheriff Parker, who is a big part of this issue, also knows that Clark has powers. So we're catching up. Obviously years have passed, so maybe something happened where Clark was helping out the sheriff. The sheriff knows that obviously Clark has some type of abilities, and he even tells him, he's like, "Is there something you want to tell me? Is you want to help us out here?" And Clark is hesitant. He's like, "No, I don't know anything." And that's one of the biggest parts. The first parts of this issue is that it kind of carries over the fact that Clark still doesn't know. I mean, he's a kid, so he doesn't know whether or not he should help or not. He's like, I could help, but I don't know what the boundaries are. It's like, do I help on everything? And especially with this crime, does he help out with that? Can you tell me what you felt about Clark? Certain people knowing that Clark has powers.
I like it because in the older issues of Superman, really was only really like a very limited amount of people knew about it.
2 people, yeah.
But it kind of makes sense that this world he's establishing, if you go right back to the beginning, I like the fact he's going back to the beginning, because more people will know. I mean, look, there's gonna be accidents with his powers. You know what I'm saying? He has friends. He's a kid. He's gonna fucking go out there and blab. Socialize. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like he's gonna brag about his abilities. Look, I could do this. I could do that. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna taking advantage of those things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that there are people that the parents can trust with this information as well.
Exactly.
That makes sense. They have friends. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like if you had a kid and whatnot, would you just keep your kid's powers as a secret, maybe from the rest of the world?
Yeah.
But are you not gonna go ahead and like tell your parents about it, tell your best friend about it, tell your girl about it? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna. There's some people you're gonna tell. You know, you're not gonna tell some casual fling about it. I got that. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna tell some random stranger about that. I got that.
Right.
But there are some people, and the fact that he would also, you know what I'm saying? Like there are some people that he's not gonna tell a kid who may not necessarily like him in school
Right.
about his powers. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, he's gonna go blab. He's gonna do it in a negative way.
Mm-hmm.
Where his friends, like, you know, Pete and whatnot, Lana, they'll keep it a secret. You know what I'm saying? They'll keep it a secret. They're gonna keep it within the family.
Yeah, because they're trustworthy people, and I think that builds on the character of Clark again. That he's surrounded by people with good intentions and good personalities that he's able to bounce. This idea of being an alien off of is not just him dealing with all this stuff by himself, which again builds to how he's able to kind of deal with this, because it's not him by himself.
Yeah.
He has people that help him to guide him on what he should do. I mean, even the cop, guides him on like, look, you need to kind of help people. Even Pete says it is like, look, you helped out that girl last time, you gotta help out. I know you saw something, you gotta help them out. And of course, the whole big part of this issue was the darker tone of the violence that happened in this issue with the kid with the gun shooting everybody in the gas station. I think it was. He was killing people in the gas station.
Store type.
And towards the end, when he's going back to his parents, his name is Owen, and he goes back to his house. You can tell like he's a redneck family, like a redneck father. He's like, oh, you kicked me out because of drugs. Now I'm back, and he's got the gun with his little goons. And well, let's first talk about the tone. I like that the violence that's in this is more realistic in the sense of like it is a darker tone. It's not all sunshine and rays in Smallville where it's like, well, the local milk guy got arrested. It's like, no, it's like some shit went down. This is in the South somewhere in Kansas or Midwest. Some shit goes down, but they don't treat it like it's dark. Like we're not talking Spawn. We're not talking like all of a sudden this is treated like a different comic.
Well, to me, it's more realistic dark. That's the thing I got from like where
Yeah.
Spawn is more this kind of like this mythical, like the hellish rain kind of darkness.
Yeah.
And stuff. Where this is more real dark. This is like,
But they don't go overboard. They're
Yeah.
not trying to hit you over the head where this is a dark situation. It's like, it's a dark situation.
and it's not also trying to
Just
hit you
play
over
it
the
out.
head saying this is going to happen all the time. Because the
Right.
sheriff has said this is like the worst crime he's ever seen. Smallville doesn't get these kind of crimes.
Right.
Like this does not happen. This is a rarity. It's a rare situation that happened. And now Clark is a part of this situation. And I'm
Yeah.
calling saying Clark because, he's not Superman yet. He's developing his powers.
Yeah.
But I like that. So it's more, it shows how Superman is in this real world. You know what I'm saying? How does Clark handle this real world? Now shit just got real for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And whatnot. Like, how does he adapt to it and stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different because a lot of criticisms they have with the Superman character is that he doesn't come across like these real situations and
Too
stuff.
goody two shoes.
And
yeah.
I feel like, this is like, it's good the fact that he's starting from the beginning.
Mhm.
He's rounding this character off.
Mhm.
He's establishing a base,
Mhm.
and he's showing like, okay, he could be this even despite he's seeing all these different things happen. He's just going to go ahead and learn from everyone in his situation. This is life lessons for him, you know what I'm saying? This is he's getting his life lessons as being a friend to Owen. I'm not Owen, Pete, and being a friend to Lana, being a son to saying the Ma Pa Kent, you know what I'm saying, and now he's learning like really the foundation of what it is to be Superman.
Yeah.
The choices he has to make and the range of his powers and his abilities.
Yeah.
I really like this issue. I like what Max Landis is doing when it comes to really telling the story of this character and really showing that base.
Yeah.
Because like I was saying in the last one, you had to have a strong base, and I feel like he's really
Building that foundation.
You know what I'm saying? That I wouldn't say was lacking, but this didn't explore in other Superman things. Like he's always Superman with the costume. This is how he is. Da da da. I like this. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, and even when you were saying with the gunfight, is like you could tell Clark is like he comes in and he's like, hey, I just want to try to make the situation right. He's not coming in I have, laser beams. Let me just laser beam everybody.
Yeah,
He's like,
me
look,
just
I'm
smash you through a wall. You know what I'm saying?
like he knows he has the power to do it, but he's like, look, I just want things to be okay. I just want to stop you from doing whatever it is. And the guy shoots him, and Clark is like, okay, you're doing that. Let me just push him back, and he's provoked more and more, and you could tell he doesn't want to do it. But at one point, he's like, look, I have to do something, and even when him using the laser heat vision, even after he does it, he's telling me, he's like, you pushed me to it. I didn't want to do it. And it took Pete to knock out the girl or the guy. I don't know. Look, kind of like could be both, but he knocks her out, and Clark's like, thanks. And when we get to that situation of the cop telling him, is like, look, you should have told me first. You could have got killed. All this stuff is like, again, this is a lesson that even in this darkest moment, Clark is realizing is like, no, I still have to figure out a way to not let it escalate to that point, because it's just going to feel a lot worse for me knowing that I hurt somebody when I could have just stopped it in a different way. So you can see that the wheels are turning of like who this hero is supposed to be, of like, yeah, I could burst in, I could laser shoot everybody, I can use my heat vision on everybody, but that's just not who I want to be. I see now what the problem is if I just go straight for that. And maybe that's why now later on he'll knock a person out or learn how to be faster to other ways to disarm people that really mean no threat to him. He's not fighting a metahuman. Like, he doesn't have to go that fast, but he's learned through this situation. And even with his mother, he goes and sees his mother. His mother's like, what are you doing? Like, that's reckless. And he knows, like, she sees that he knows he messed up. And he has that moment. And again, I love that moment at the end. Always puts the button on the issue where she tells him, she's like, look, because he says, oh, you think I'm a monster. You probably think of me as a monster. She's like, no, I don't think of you as a monster. I think of you as a blessing. We wished for you, and because obviously I guess she couldn't get pregnant, and he came from the stars. And she's like, no, I never want you to think that we think of you as a monster. And it's just reassuring Clark, like, look, what you did what, because she even says it. She says it at the end. It's like, look, do I wish you would have done something differently? Yeah, but if I were to think of what would have happened if you didn't show up, and how that whole family would have got killed, I'm glad you did what you did. So it just goes back to even pushing that character more into the hero, where it's like, yeah, you're kind of wondering who you should be, but don't ever feel hard on yourself for doing the right thing of saving somebody, which is the total opposite of Man of Steel. I don't want to go back to Man of Steel, but again, my gripe with Man of Steel is that I never felt confidence from his parents to be like, you're doing the right thing. You may not know how to do it, but you're doing the right thing, and we'll help you figure out what that right thing is. They were always like, you can help people or don't help people, whatever. They don't owe you anything. You don't owe them anything. It's like, nah, that's not how you build. That's not the journey of a superhero. What'd you think about the ending? What'd you think about the way it just kind of all came together at the end?
I like it because it's giving it kind of like those Max Landis. You could tell he's a fan of not just Superman, but a fan of other things. Where like if a sitcom show,
yeah,
the end of the episode is what? It's the life
moral
lessons. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what did you learn from this episode?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think we're getting in every issue. I mean, it's only 2 issues in so far that I've read, but so far I'm getting like this reoccurring thing, where something happens, he's gonna learn from it, and this is gonna be, once again, going back to the base of what is ultimately gonna become Superman, and I like that. I'm expecting to see it in the next issue.
Mm-hmm.
If the parents are there and whatnot, they're showing that. I want to see more of a build up on that as well. I do like it. The tone was a little different. It had more the adolescent tone, the teenager tone to it and stuff. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That you get to see like a different side of Superman and more layers. His the teenage years.
The teenage years, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I really enjoying where he's taking us with the storytelling of this character and these characters in general.
Yeah, so Hawk, another good issue by Max Landis, is definitely a very good read. You should definitely go check it out. By the time that this is probably released, probably all 7 issues have been released. So check out all 7 issues. We'll be reviewing the next one as we come along to it. But that'll be this ending for this episode. So definitely check us out. Like our page, subscribe, tell your friends about us. You can find us on Twitter at combo_convo. And until next time, like I always say, we'll see you later.